Hi there. In this tutorial, we will see that how can we push our React repository to GitHub. For that, we have to create a repository locally in our React project, and then we have to create another repository in the GitHub account, and then we have to connect our local repository with the remote repository, and then we have to push our React project. So let's see how can we do that step by step. For that, let's try to push this application, our React application, to GitHub. For that, I have to go to my project. I can see that it indicate the master branch. That means I am in my project Git repository already created. Let's check out how can we know. For that, I have to command LSA, that means show all the file. If you are Windows user, you can try open the project or open the folder and check out that there, but I can see that .git folder available in my project. That is the reason our Git version control works. So let's if I do not have if it is not a React project, then we have to create a repository like git init command. I will do not run this command because I already have one. Let's check out some commits. Git log online. I can see I have some already committed in my repository. So our Git repository in client application is ready. Now it is second step to create our repository in our GitHub account. For that, I have to log into my account. Now create a repository here. For that, I can click this button, and I have to, let's see the same name, app name, though it is a useless meaningless name. My app, actually it is the my app, and let's create on. Our repository in the remote server or GitHub in the GitHub is created. Now our third step is to connect this repository in local repository with the local repository with the remote repository. So how can we do that? We have two ways to do that. Let's check out the first one, HTTP method. So copy this line and git remote v. I can see in this repository we do not have any connection. So let's connect. For that, I have to command git remote, then add, then I have to name I have to provide a name. Let's add a name origin. It doesn't matter which name we provide, it is common. And then I have to paste this command we copied. If I enter my command and let's check out my repository again, I can see this time I have my local repository connected with my remote repository. So now let's check then can we push our repository to GitHub. For that, I have to write git push command, and then I have to name the origin name. This is the origin name, is also origin, and then I have to pass my branch name, that is the master branch. As soon as I do that, it asks for my username and password. So I have to provide my username and password. It is my username. Now I can see that it does not support the username anymore because it says that this process is already rejected in August 13, 2021. So I have to go through the second process. That means this SSH process. We can copy this line, or let's understand the command one by one. For that, actually let's git remove the original one. Now if I check my repository, I can see my repository is empty again. Now let's try to connect our repository with our SSH connection. So to connect our SSH connection, we must have our SSH key generated in my client application, and then we have to push our SSH key in my GitHub application to connect the communication. Let's see the process. At first, I have to create our SSH key. For that, let's open another tab. It is the ssh-keygen command. I can run this command, or I can add something more, like type will be RSA, though it is a default one, and the byte will be 204 2 GB, 2 MB. 2 MB means 1020, that means 2048. And then I have to pass some comment like my email address or something. This one, it is just a name, but we do not need these three things because it is by default. So if I run the SSH-keygen, it will ask to create my repository. So the repository will be available in this location. So if I try, it says that I already have a repository. So do I overwrite? Yes, please. And then no need password, no need again. Our repository is created. So let's go to this location. That means cd. If I run, I can see my SSH ID RSA. It is a private key, and another one is the public key. So we do not need to touch the private key. We have to push or add this public key to our GitHub project. So let's copy this content from here. For that, cat id rsa.public. I have to copy this project, or you can open this file in a text editor and then copy from here. I am a Linux terminal, so I can copy from here. Now my RSA public key is copied. Now I have to add this public key in my setting and SSH key and JP key, and then I have to remove this one and add my new key. Let's put the same name and paste the SSH key. Now I have to save. My new SSH key connected, and let's check out that my connection is working or not. So for that I have to type ssh git at github.com. actually github.com. Git is the username and GitHub is the domain name or server name, host name. So if I try to connect, it says that hi JavaScript for everything. That means it says that I have a full connection with my SSH key, but it does not show or provide the shell, SSH shell. So we don't need the shell, we just need to connectivity. So I have the GitHub connectivity. from my local machine to my remote machine or remote server with the SSH key. Now second part, I have to go to my repository again, my app. Now I have to connect this URL or this repository URL to my remote repository, local repository. For that, git remote v, I can see there is no repository added, so git remote, let's add and name I am putting the name origin. It can be any name, origin, and then I have to type, either paste the command or let's understand the commands. Let's understand this command. For that, at first it will be git. We already saw that it is the username for all the git repositories. So username, then I have to type the host name. It is the github.com. Then colon, and I have to pass my username. That means this account username. This account username is JavaScript for everything. So I have to type my username. JavaScript script everything, and then I have to type my project name. That means my app. And you can see here has a dot git. It is not mandatory, so if I enter, let's check out my git remote v, I can see my remote repository is connected. Now if I try to push, this time it will be available. So git push origin and repository name is master. Now I can see my React application is pushed in my remote branch. That means the remote repository. Now if I refresh my page, it takes some time. Now I can see my repository is available and my .readme file available is in here. So let's though it is a dummy project, let's see how can we delete our repository. For that, I have to go to my setting, and if we can anything changes here. So in the bottom I can see the repository name. It will be repository. It shows that everything will be deleted. I understand. Now I have to type the full project name. That means JavaScript for everything. If I click this button, my repository is gone. So this way you can create or connect any repository from the local to remote. So hopefully it was the last tutorial on the React app. So let's see in another playlist.